Hey guys, we're back with another video, and it's gonna be dumb shit, I can tell you that right now without a shadow of a doubt. So, with that being said, I just got to set this up so I can actually start it off. You ready?
Mm, as much as I can be.
Alright, well, I got the stream up, so I don't know if you're watching it or not, so
I am.
you watching?
Yep.
Alright, here we go.
A lot of game journals came out today to try and tell us that Resident Evil Requiem is the best-selling game of 2026
Requiem.
so far, and I just had a good chuckle at that. I just had a good chuckles like knuckles because this is such an obvious cope that I can't even process it because we haven't been told the Pokemon Pokepia numbers. We haven't been told the Tamagotchi like numbers. And when we are told those numbers, they will have outsold Resident Evil Requiem quite handedly. If it hasn't happened yet, it will by the end of the year. Like, people are just very strongly underestimating just how popular Pokemon Pokepia and Tamagotchi Life actually are.
I mean, sure, but at the end of the day, we know for sure that Resident Evil 9 pulled fucking numbers, bro. So it's just one of those things that, like, no matter how much they try to deny it or cope with it, it's just Resident Evil 9 sold very well because, successful IP, successful IP and everything, number one, that has a long-standing, reputation. It's had multiple very good games within the past, like, year or so. So with that, like it selling well is like a given, you know?
Indeed.
It's like sure, Nintendo IP is gonna sell well because normies have it's not that they have like a fanatical obsession with Nintendo, but more like it's just normal, you know, very approachable game and that anyone can get into. That's why Pokepia got the got that press because it's more popular with normal people in comparison to you know, like the quote unquote gamer. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Let's keep going. Damn it.
Pokepia is probably only going to trail behind Mario Kart World, in
Oh
total
my
sales for
god.
the Switch 2, I think.
I'm sorry, but Mario Kart World is only selling well because they bundled it with the console and people were stupid enough to buy that bundle as expensive as it was.
Yeah, Mario
Five
Kart
hundred
World
five
is
hundred fifty
easily
dollars is crazy, dude. Like
World is easily one of the worst Mario Karts I've played.
I've only played the Mario Kart 8 on my Switch, Deluxe. So it's like it's just one of those things where it's like, I'm not really all that interested in Mario Kart. Hell, I don't want to Switch 2 anyway. It's way too expensive. It won't have like it's basically like in comparison to most modern console. Hell, my computer, like let's just make that comparison since Harmon likes making the comparison to PC every other time he gets the opportunity. But like anytime he wants to bring up the Switch, he always wants to compare it to PC gaming specifically. And it's like,
Yep.
brother, PC gaming is like the superior platform, brother. There is no way you're gonna sit here and tell me that Switch games are selling better because Resident Evil 9 is multi-plat, and then Pokepia and Tamagotchi Life are all Switch exclusive, which, hinders their sales. The Switch 2 may have sold a shit ton because, people are dumb enough to buy it. If you did buy, oh fuck. If someone did buy it, sure, whatever, that's their choice. But at the same time, it's like, you know, it's it's not worth it if you have a dedicated platform like a PlayStation or Xbox or again, like in my case, PC. Oh, great. I got caught. Well, guess I'll die. Guess I really don't have much of a choice. But yeah, with that in mind.
Like, again, the idea that Resident Evil Requiem has outperformed either of those games is like insanely stupid and really should get laughed at, okay?
Let's do something real fast. Okay, I don't like using the AI overview, but like it's the oh, look at that. Video Game Chronicle here says this was like literally a month ago. As it passed the 6 million sales. Sales. Capcom officially confirms Resident Evil Requiem is the series' fastest selling game. And the funny thing
Yep.
about that is the last time that happened was Resident Evil 5.
I don't let him know that because they don't want to hear facts.
Yep. They have sold over 7 million units as of now. Yeah, 7 million plus units sold as of April 24, 2026. By 2 months, bro. 2 months. That's crazy. And then let's compare it to Pokepia since he wants to bring it up. 2.2 million in 4 days, which is not bad. But think about it. The fucking like the comparison is not like that, you know? And then what was the other game he was comparing?
Mario Kart World.
It's got 9 million copies, but like I said earlier, half the reason that's even the case is because it had the bundle with the console, so the sales are boosted, kind of like how the PlayStation games get boosted because of the fact that they're sold with the console. So here, let me list out all the exclusives that PlayStation has bundled with consoles. Horizon Zero Dawn, Horizon Forbidden West, Spider-Man. I think they had a Miles Morales bundle, no? Unless I might be wrong. I'm gonna be real. I might actually be wrong. So it's like, yeah, like they can boost their sales via, bundling it up with a console. So it's like, okay, so I got that guy already. Just one of those things where it's like even if it does sell well, it's gonna have a catch. In the case of Mario Kart World, again, the console bundle.
Because we've been going through this like ever since Pokepia came out. Because if you remember, there was a big controversy over like Pokepia initially having a higher Metacritic score than Resident Evil Requiem, and then like the gaming journalists rallied to like get it lowered by 2 points, and then it slowly started crawling back up because of just how popular.
Bruh. Like, whenever you have to bring up game journos to back up your point, I think you're just fucking dumb because game journos do not determine whether or not the general public considers the game to be good. The general public is who determines whether the game is good or not. That's why whenever you look at that's why people use Steam as a reliable a reliable source as to whether or not a game is good or not because it takes user reviews into consideration. Yes, sometimes they'll put the Metacritic score at the bottom, but in the end, you'll need to you know consider the user score because those are people actually buying the games and playing them to completion.
Speaking
So
about Metacritic, it's no different than how the Mario Galaxy movie got, what was that, like a 65% from Metacritic, but the fans had it at a 95% because, hey, it's too much Mario. Oh no, Rotten Tomato gave it a 43. That's the critics, and fans gave it an 89.
yeah, it's just
That's all we need to know.
yeah. It's like another good example I can bring up is The Last of Us 2. That shit got 90 pluses on Metacritic, while the user score was like a 2 and below, if I remember correctly. It's like that game was shit, as Harmon would love to say, uh, shilled by gaming journos and all that, you know, when it actually happened here in this case, unlike some games like Baldur's Gate 3, Elden Ring. you know, games I'd like to bring up when talking about Harmon in particular, because this man hates the fuck out of Elden Ring and Baldur's Gate 3, especially Baldur's Gate 3, because, you know, it took a spot, it took Game of the Year from a certain game, but, you know, I won't bring that up in detail. Let's keep going here.
Ended up being like it was very interesting to see how like the community at large just failed to like accept a simple truth that Pokemon Pokepia was a better game than Resident Evil Requiem. It sold
Okay.
more. It had a better higher.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna have a very long, drawn-out conversation about this one. I can tell you that right now.
You know, I'm gonna put this into perspective. That's like when IGN said Crawl, the movie Crawl was better than King of the Monsters. Pokepedia is not a bad game, but better than RE9? No. No. You just hated the fact that Leon was in the game.
And the fact
It
also that it's not on the Switch 2, running at higher than 30 frames, of course, because that game could probably not even hit 30. Because think about it, he doesn't say the game sucks. It's just he's just saying that other games are rated better. Because if it were not on the Switch, he'd be like, "Oh, the game's fucking awful. It's terrible, dog shit," or some other shit like that. I can imagine
Oh yeah.
for sure. Because if it weren't on the Switch 2, he'd be like, "Oh, it should have been the Switch 2. The Switch 2 could run every game, blah blah blah." You know, all that funny dumb shit he loves to spew at times. It's really funny. And it's just one of those things where it's like, you know, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do about it? The games are just better. Like, who gives a fuck? It's really funny because, like I said, it's one of those things where the public will speak louder than any critics ever could. So, you know.
Metacritic score. It had more content. There really was no debate, but the community.
Bruh, the irony of this man pushing up his glasses like an absolute fucking nerd. And that shit's stupid funny, but back to what I was saying, the fucking like RE9 definitely has more content. You can replay the game at higher difficulty, modifiers, hell, mods, challenges. Oh right, mods, something you can't do in a Switch 2 version, Harmon. Just keep that in mind. Yeah, I'd honestly say I could replay RE9 over like, you know, the Pokemon games because I'm like unlike some people, I'm not really big into Pokemon anymore. Like I peaked being into Pokemon when I was a little kid. I was like maybe 10, 12-ish. I'm talking like when Pokemon Black and White was the brand new generation, which is crazy to think about. That shit was over a decade ago. It's wild. You'd think that Pokemon would get better, but no, it's just rehashing shit. It's stupid as hell.
24/7.
Like, when was the last time the Pokemon games were genuinely good?
Just now with Pokepedia.
No, before that.
3DS era.
Okay, and let me also put another caveat slash catch in there. We're talking like mainline games. So like I consider Pokepia as fucking spin-off, dude. Like I'm gonna be real with you. That shit's a spin-off
The
to me.
3DS era.
Like Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon
Yeah,
or
that was probably the last generation that had stuff for the fans and actually took a risk that worked. And with my beautiful modded 3DS, yes, fuck you, Nintendo.
yeah.
Um,
I have one
I
too, so yeah,
have
you can suck it, Nintendo.
I can play
Hell,
all of
that's
it.
that's like literally the reason I got a 3DS because I knew I could mod that bitch and get whatever game I want. So, you know, there's that. It's just beautiful. Like homebrewing my 3DS is the best thing I ever did,
I'm brewing any console is the best thing.
right? I mean, I personally want to do it because number one, it's a pain in the ass. Number two, I don't really want to have too many consoles. I mean, I have an early model Xbox One. I could jailbreak that if firmware is low enough, which I don't know if it is. I'm gonna be real.
I know as I'm on my modded PS4 right now.
Yep, something again Harmon can't do. Because think about it, we could play whatever old games we want while he has to pay a subscription in order to play old games in general.
Yep.
Anything from GameCube, PS2. Well, actually, since we're talking Harmon, it's just GameCube, Nintendo 64, Super Nintendo, NES, what other console? Fuck. DS, 3DS. Although I won't lie, the we're talking DS games. Those are better at those are better, you know, played on hardware, in my opinion.
Forever will be.
Yeah, it's just one of those things for You're better off playing those games on hardware. Let's continue this fucking cancer.
Was very adamant that like Pokepia could not be allowed to be seen as being the better game than Requiem. Like I would argue a big reason why Requiem was glazed the way it was purely to try and bury Pokepia. Purely to try and like keep the discussion away from the Switch 2, away from Nintendo, away from Pokemon, and to keep up this facade.
I'm sorry, what? This is always the thing with Harmon. It's anytime a non-Nintendo third-party game gets the press, gets the love, gets the praise, gets the respect, and all that other shit. It's always, oh, they're trying to hide Pokepia, they're trying to downplay it, they're trying to make it look like it's bad or that it's worse than Resident Evil 9. It's like, bro, that's just a conspiracy you're brewing in your own head. Like, that's gotta be like next level unhealthy, bro. Like, just coming up with all these conspiracies and shit. Just making up these delusions in your brain. That's just gotta be a fucking illness or something, because God forbid someone like a game that isn't fucking Nintendo related, bro. Like, look at me. I don't give a fuck about Nintendo games, bro. Like, haven't since like 2000, like, 2015 at the latest, and even that. Like, I guess 2019 to be more accurate, because I did play a shit ton of Mario Kart 8 on the Switch, because that was actually a good game. But like Nintendo, they have good games, but it's like, at the same time, it's like, ugh. It's like the catch is I have to buy a Switch 2 in this case. And it's just not something I want to do, because the Switch 2 can literally suck my dick, because it's not exactly a great console to have. So,
Hell no.
not even. I mean, hell, this is coming from me who only has a Switch 1. And then Dave here had a Switch 2 for a little while, which let's just say I wasn't exactly a
About
big
2
fan of.
weeks and it collected dust.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that's just how much little shelf life the Switch 2 has. It's not as, not as widespread as the regular Switch. Again, this is going back, comparing it to the Wii U versus the Wii, The Wii and the Switch, in both cases, were revolutionary pieces of hardware. While yes, that's not as powerful as the competition, it was winning in the innovation department, because because like, who would have thought that you can make a console that's not only portable but playable on in home console mode, and then the full on console mode, and then portable mode, you know what I mean?
Yes.
But the Switch 2 and the Wii U don't innovate on those concepts. It's just slight marginal improvement.
That Nintendo was like perpetually failing. That Nintendo just could not succeed under any circumstances, and that like Resident Evil Requiem was like the biggest game of the year.
Look, no one's saying Nintendo's failing. As much as much of a bad rap as they get, they are not failing. Far from it. They are doing extremely well, mainly because mainly because gullible people like you buy up their shit. So obviously they're gonna make bank off of that, and they're just, if we're talking like normie consumers that want their kids to play video games or whatever, and they can trust a Nintendo product. There's that trust that Nintendo product's always going to be of quality and generally suitable for all ages. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's just that kind of thing that Nintendo kind of banks on. It's kind of the reason they're like the only company out of the quote unquote big three that can make exclusives and get away with it, because their platform's known for that kind of shit. They have the kid-friendly games, Mario and Zelda, and things of that nature. But at the same time, you gotta realize that's like practically the only reason Nintendo's been successful in the first place. No one's denying their success at all. If anything, like I said before, it's just an unhealthy mental delusion you've cooked up in your brain to make everyone else look bad while Nintendo looks quote unquote good. I mean, they're fine as they are. I mean, sure, they could be better, but the overall consensus is Nintendo's doing just fine. I don't think anyone needs to shill or glaze or gaslight or downplay or any of that shit. Those are some of his favorite words. No one needs to fucking think those things, because number one, no one gives a shit, and number two, we just want to play games. All right. I think the only person or I guess people that care about that sort of shit are fanboys like you, who pay attention to nothing more than stats and sales and all that other shit that no one else really gives a shit about.
Yep.
I mean, do you have any additional
Not
takes on the
really.
subject matter? All right, let's keep going.
Okay, like we've seen this for a long time. We've seen these kind of things happen for a long time, and it becomes more and more apparent every year just how desperate the overall community actually is. Like what we're seeing here is like the the last dying throes of like the old ways. Okay, where every Nintendo game was buried, every PlayStation exclusive was glazed, and like the industry just kept doing that in hopes of destroying Nintendo, of like building up their mountain of cards, like continuing the farce that like PlayStation was like the main character of the gaming industry.
I'm sorry, but the PlayStation is most definitely not the main character in the story of video games. Not even close. The main character is the platform that I'm playing Doom 2016 on, which is PC, because I mean, if you have an IQ higher than room temperature, or should I say higher than freezing, unlike this fucking dipshit jackass, you would know that PC gaming is far better than consoles in every metric because of its flexibility, your ability to upgrade at your own pace, pay whatever you want, not pay however much you want. For example, like one of my favorite websites, instantgaming.com, go to the link in the description to get yourself your own discounts using my link again in the description. You can get cheap ass games on there and discount, especially like I think the biggest advantage also is not only is it's not just for it's not just for older games that have just released, but you can like pre-order games at like a slight discount. Pretty big advantage. I mean, I just bought Forza Horizon 6 premium edition for like less than $100 when it's like MSRPing at like what 120
Yeah.
for example. And like oh, in another instance, I bought Minecraft, Bedrock, and Java for like $18 rather than pay $30 for it on the official Minecraft website. Because like think about it, who would pay $30 for Minecraft? I mean, back then, like back in the day, you paid $20, $30, $25 for that shit because you know it's fucking Minecraft. I don't think I need to explain that any further than that.
Oh, the good time.
Right? But back on topic, PC gaming. I'm not gonna like if you play on console, that's you know that's your shit. I don't. To me, it's one of those things. I don't give a fuck. If you play on console and you're not like rubbing it in that oh the console X is better than console Y, I don't give a fuck. All right. I will keep saying though that service models are ass paying for online and shit. That's bad. But if you just play on consoles, you're a chill ass motherfucker. I don't care. All right, we're cool. My younger brother plays on console, and I don't give a shit. I mean, I've suggested he play on PC, but if he doesn't want to, that's up to him, and that's all there is to it. No need to force that bullshit on people because people like Harmon will always say, "Oh, PT Master Race guys are always saying this and this." It's like, bruh, like if they want to be on PC, cool. If they don't, what the fuck ever. It's not our concern. Anyway, back to the video.
Essentially. And what's happened over time is that like PlayStation has stopped producing. You know, it's not selling units. All the games have gone multi-plat, and so like all they can do now is just try and say that like, well, I know that Requiem is on PS5 and the Switch 2, but like, why wouldn't you buy the PS5 version? Like, that's the console Resident Evil has always been on.
Okay, with that one, yes, PlayStation isn't exactly doing all that great. I mean, price hiking the fuck out of the PS5 is not helping them at all. So, you know, that's kind of on them. I mean, it's not our fault that the PlayStation 5 is failing. It's Sony's own fault because they're overcharging for shit, you know?
Yep.
It's like, it's not gonna matter. Going multi-plat is a good thing. I mean, look at how Microsoft's doing right now, releasing their shit on Xbox and PC day one. Hell, that's the reason I bought Forza Horizon 6 on Xbox because it's a PC game, but I can also play it on Xbox or on the cloud or on RGLIX/Steam, whatever supports Xbox's handheld PC integration. I can play it on that too because it's just that fucking easy. Because it's just, like I said, it's so seamless. Look, if a game's on Switch 2 and PS5, that's great. It's actually preferable that we're on those platforms rather than not. Because if it weren't on those platforms, then you know we wouldn't be here right now. Honestly, that's part of Fortnite's success being multi-plat and free to play. You can play it on fucking anything: phone, Switch, Xbox, PlayStation. PC, what the fuck ever, dude. It's great. Being multi-plat is like one of the greatest advantages a game can have. Again, one of the main reasons Resident Evil 9 sold so damn well is because, again, released on multiple platforms, people had a choice. Like, do you want it here? Do you want it there? And, people spoke. And since we're talking about a Capcom game, what's funny is within the last year and a half, 2 years, Capcom's been all over PC as their main platform because the majority of their games sell there the most. It just makes things so
Yep.
much easier for them, I'd imagine. And they probably generate fucking bank. Let's get back to the video here.
And it looks way better, and it's a better game than Pokemon Pokepia. Like, we see a lot of that. We are seeing a lot of that in the community, and it really does need to be.
Where though? Where is this oh, Resident Evil 9 is better than Pokepia shit coming from? Like, that's my question. Like, why would you bring up Resident Evil 9 in a conversation about Pokepia?
Just to do it.
The only reason I would ever bring up Pokepia in conversation with RE9 is to ask someone, oh, did you buy Pokepia? That's like, cool. Like, what other games did you buy this year? And then the other guy's like, oh, I bought Resident Evil 9 too. And like, oh shit, that's fucking awesome. I also bought Resident Evil 9. I think it's fucking great. I'd imagine no one's in a dick measuring contest between games because, they're normal people with higher than room temperature IQ and don't actually give a fuck about any of that. It's just a thing in your head, nothing else. Like I keep bringing it up, it's nothing more than a mental delusion this man creates for himself just to make Nintendo look better than the other platforms because fuck you. Because fuck you, that's why. Well, in his head, fuck you to everyone that isn't basically a Nintendo shill, but that's just my humble opinion as a 178 YouTube subscriber sized YouTuber, but what the fuck ever, right? Let's keep going with this shit.
Called out. It is just it's an example of just things always being this way, but they really need to change. Okay? This was a completely ridiculous situation to be in. And the fact that we're still talking about it even today just goes to show you just how desperate game journals are. Because, imagine if they try to give, Game of the Year to Resident Evil Requiem, after it got outsold by Pokepia, after it got outsold by Tamagotchi, after, it got outperformed by, all these other Switch 2 games. Imagine if they try to do that. How that would make...
All right, question number one. Who gives a
Nobody.
fuck about what gaming journals have to say? A majority of people genuinely don't care. And for second, RE9 is genuinely a fantastic fucking game, bro. It getting Game of the Year is almost it's not guaranteed, but it has a very good chance of getting it. I'd imagine later in the year it'll probably have some competition, but honestly, it getting Game of the Year is almost guaranteed because it's just that good of a game. Well designed, well animated, the graphics are fucking insane and whatnot. So it's just one of those things where it's just no question. Resident Evil 9 is a fantastic fucking game all around. No question. This man will always, gaslight himself to believe that, gaming journalists are like an evil force in the video game industry. They're trying to downplay his favorite Nintendo games and all that other shit. While normal people, in the meantime, are just playing games, something he always claims to be doing but doesn't because, he's a fucking retard. But, that's just me, again, my humble opinion.
Honestly, I don't see them doing that. They are just stuck in this position where they have to keep glazing all this random shit, gaslight people into thinking all of it is way bigger than what Nintendo is doing, and then playing dumb when the real numbers come out. And we start realizing there's 5 or 6 Nintendo games that have come out this year that have outsold Resident Evil Requiem. It is going to be...
I'm sorry, but what real numbers? You mean these? The one I'm gonna put on the screen right now? Because I'm sure as fuck that Resident Evil 9 sold more units than these Nintendo games. Okay? Don't bring up Mario Kart World because that game's basically cheating because it's being bundled with the Switch since its launch. So don't even at me with that fucking shit. Alright, Resident Evil 9 sold very well for 3 reasons. Number 1, it's a good fucking game. Number 2, it's multi-plat. And number 3, it's actually worth the $70 price tag. Unlike something like Mario Kart World, which is like $80 Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC, to be perfectly honest. Yes, I haven't played it, but one can make an opinion on the game based on what they look at, i.e. reviews or videos on the game, etc., or, word of mouth or anecdotes from others, as in my friend
Which
Dave
one?
here. I mean, you played it, right? I'm not fucking I'm not fucking
Yes, and I
Mario
did
Kart
not
World. I'm
like
not
it.
fucking imagining that shit. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, right. You did mention that earlier in this segment in the video. Yeah. I just wanted to fucking make sure I wasn't fucking making shit up, but like you can make an opinion on a game based on its general like consensus from others. Like for example, with Crimson Desert, it's like it has a very good reputation, sure, but you know, one can end up not liking the game as good as it is. Like I genuinely don't like it because it feels like to me an ADHD fucking multitask brain here, like that's too much. Like Crimson Desert is only like to me, it's not a bad game. It's just extremely fucking overwhelming. I can't bring myself to do all the stuff in that game because there's so much, which is a good thing. Shit. Some games don't even pack the kind of content Crimson Desert's packing. And this is just in reference to new games, like recently released games. So with that in mind, it's like in comparison to these Nintendo games, it's night and day.
Fascinating seeing like the fall from grace from the gaming journalism outlets. Like I really do think they're not going to survive this generation because they didn't really survive. Like,
Okay, the one thing I will give him is I do also want the, you know, I do want the gaming journalist sector to fucking crash and burn because
Hmm.
gaming journalists fucking suck. I would rather like real people review game. Like that's what gaming journalism used to be, fellow gamers who reviewed the games that we were gonna play or were playing.
Yep.
But now it's become a circle jerk for fucking gender confused fucking retards who can't seem to understand like what makes a video game good. They just want to make sure it checks out all the boxes and stuff because I'll be damned if they ever play a video game just to play it, complete it, and actually have fun with it rather than, look for some agenda worth pushing. It's just like gaming journalists aren't really journalists. They just review games for the money, bro, because they're not paying for the games. We are, and we're supposed to trust their word on whether or not the game's actually good or not. Which in most cases, in some cases, Dragon Age Veilguard, Last of Us 2 are two good examples of gaming journalism pandering, while the general user base fucking hates those games, bro, because they're from established franchises that were good at one point, but have become woke propagandized messes. So it's like, what's the point of listening to game journals? That's like the one point I will give them though. Game journals fucking suck ass and need to like burn in a fire and die or some other shit.
The one thing that I will say is this is the reason that emulation and a lot of the old school games and modded consoles are starting to rise is because people are sick of the modern era of gaming. Want the classics, the stuff that used to make us who we were.
Yeah,
like the Nintendo
miss those
Direct.
days.
But at least they were able to do their damage control articles and their clickbait. Like with Nintendo today, I don't even think they'll be able to do that anymore. Like imagine an ecosystem where Nintendo fans don't even post on Twitter and instead they just go straight to Nintendo Today, share articles, talk about how cool it is. Like it's going to be harder and harder and harder to downplay Nintendo in this ecosystem. As they have more and more of a closed ecosystem, as you don't have bad faith actors like damage controlling them all the time. Like when people stop listening to the critics, when they stop listening to the game journals, like there's just
Oh man, I'm gonna be real. Him droning on makes me space out, and I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Someone like you would definitely show for Nintendo if given the opportunity. I'll just say that. Like, I'm gonna be real. I was not paying attention to half of the shit he was saying. I mean, were you paying attention to any shit he was saying? Because I sure as shit didn't.
I'm not even paying attention really right now.
Oh man. That's how bad Harmon Smith videos are. They're just that fucking bad. We're basically lost and don't even know what the fuck's going on anymore. To the point I basically have no idea what he was talking about. So I guess back to the video we go.
just nowhere for them to go. Is what we're seeing now. Is that we're seeing them just reach the natural conclusion of their careers where people are just learning not to take them seriously, not to respect them, not to listen to them. And we're seeing in real time how all of that is collapsing and how all these people are struggling to make basic ends meet. Okay, that's the reality of where we're at now, is that we are seeing the complete and total collapse of Nintendo, of the Nintendo hate community. Like, even like grifters like Arlo are getting called out for their actions. Okay, like it's
Who cares about who hates Nintendo? Sure, I hate Nintendo, but I'm not making it a fucking statement. Like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care if someone doesn't agree with my opinion or doesn't agree with my opinion. It's my opinion. I don't give a fuck. And what are these? What are these fucking quote unquote Nintendo hate communities he keeps bringing up? It's like, yes, a large amount of people do hate Nintendo, but it's not like they congregate and meet and just talk about hating Nintendo a fucking day. We have better shit to talk about than hating Nintendo all day. Like, come on. Oh my gosh, I keep saying like. Fuck, I need to get my shit together. Basically, there is no Nintendo hate communities. It's just nothing more than like I've said 4 times already in this fucking video, nothing more than delusions you made up in your mind because you love Nintendo that much. And you're a literal fanboy, self-admittedly, I'd imagine. And you can't really come up with any arguments worth a damn because you're a low IQ individual moving the fuck on.
It's remarkable to see like how far we've come over the past 10 years. So, because to think that like it would only take a decade for like the culture that had like successfully managed to downplay Star Fox Zero to completely upload upon itself is that's gratifying. I'm very happy to see that.
Who gives a actual fuck about Star Fox fucking Zero? That game to me is just a game that came and went, all right? Sorry, Nintendo fans, I'm not like that, all right? I don't like Nintendo games like that. I never owned a Wii U, so, I didn't get to play it. The only exposure to Star Fox I got was a fucking series of reviews from a very underrated YouTuber, but that's just me. So moving on from that point.
I'm very happy to be a part of that, but like we still have a long way to go, okay? Like we have like endless amounts of like bullshit IPs to crush. We have publishers to bankrupt. We have studios to shut down. Like the fight's never really gonna end, I feel like, because there's always gonna be corruption in the video game industry.
Okay, corruption might be a strong word. I'm not gonna lie. He's acting like he is gonna change the gaming industry by himself or some other shit. I don't know why. It's just it's very weird. He's talking like a Nintendo revolutionary or some other shit. He's talking like a damn freedom fighter. What are you fucking certain organization I won't name because I'm afraid YouTube might fuck me in the ass. Doesn't he sound like that?
Yeah.
Like a particular Middle Eastern organization that's totally not cool or in any sort of way.
Yep.
It's very bad. Let's just say that. It just sounds really funny coming from this guy. I'm just saying.
But what we have seen is just a glorious new Nintendo future. This is the beginning of Nintendo's new golden age, in which publishers and game devs can't do anything to downplay the company. They're going to be embarrassed. They're going to be humiliated. And it is going to be, like, very, very gratifying to see. And it's going to get worse.
Why do you care about a company standing, bro? Like, if Nintendo's entering a quote-unquote new golden age, then why are they being fucking hated right now? Or have been hated since the Switch 2 release. Again, you're selling a console that's barely been improved over the original that came out in 2017, mind you. I'll take that back. Marginally improved, but, not much else. Like, what's so different about the Switch 2 that makes it, like, the choice in comparison to a Switch 1? Like, I don't see a real reason to own one. I have a Switch 1. I mean, I don't give enough of a fuck to use it all that much. I'll play it, like, on my bed before I go to sleep at times, but other than that, like, I haven't touched that thing in a hot minute. Plus, I won't have time to touch any video game console for a fucking while. But it's just like, what does the Switch 2 fucking offer, bro? Like, it doesn't offer shit. For me, who mainly plays on PC, for Dave, who also mainly games on PC, and even managed to get, it's like, there's no point to it all. If a console doesn't offer any good, then why bother purchasing it? Let's see what he ends this video with.
I am going to live to see Grand Theft Auto fall from grace, Like, it's gonna be really exciting to see that happen. Like, I think even at that point, when Grand Theft Auto inevitably bends the knee to Nintendo, whether it like ports the game on consoles or whether it like just loses popularity or whatever, Like when Grand Theft Auto bends the knee, you know that Nintendo has won.
I'm retarded.
That's all for me with this guy.
I am in disbelief.
You really think?
Look, as overhyped and as uninterested as I am about GTA 6, it is not going to quote unquote fall from grace. It's not gonna quote unquote bend the knee to Nintendo, because I think not even a God-given miracle would allow that game to run on the Switch 2.
No.
It's just impossible. That game is far too big, far too complex, and far too hardware demanding, I'd imagine, to run on a Switch 2 like that. It's just impossible. It's just how things go. There's no way in hell that thing will run on the Switch, bro. If The Witcher 3 can barely run on that fucking thing, and that's an open world RPG game, action RPG game, then GTA 6 has no chance in it. Why do you think GTA 5's not even on there? Exactly. Because in comparison to the, it's literally not even, I don't even think it compares to the Xbox 360 or PS3 in terms of performance, if I'm not mistaken. So it's just like, ugh. It's just, typical Harmon video, just stupid Nintendo fanboying and all that shit.
Always.
Always. Yay, more to cut out. Lovely. Well, with that being said, I'm just gonna end the video already because, we already basically talked about it. So that's all for me. Genuinely, like, this guy's fucking awful. So, yeah, this will be fun to edit.